Hello, welcome to Conversations with Cathy. Today we invited guest Jean, and she's the photographer, creative director, the founder of jewelry brand, and now the founder of the Institute of Archive of Beauty. Welcome, Jean. Can you introduce yourself a little bit?
Hi, I'm Jean Linda Balke. Thanks for having me, Cathy. So my career has been over 2 decades now. It has been throughout an evolution of aesthetics, through photography and then art direction. And then I founded my own jewelry brand and did this for almost a decade. And then I switched to Swarovski and Rosewood Hotels later. And finally, I have my own institute that's called Archive of Beauty.
Cool. So let's start with your first journey, the photographer. How did you have the idea to start that journey?
So when I left school, high school in Germany, I'm German. I went to California, and I just it was more like a way for me to learn to see everything there. So I went to the desert a lot, and I was just taking pictures of plants and geology and formation structures and all this. So it was basically a way for me, to learn to see really. And then after that, I was accepted into art school, university in Germany, and then I went back there.
Wow. So you get the art school in there, and then after you graduate from art school, and you think you want to be a photographer.
Exactly. So I was then working as a photographer, editorial photographer for magazines for 2 years, I think. And I also did exhibitions. So I did some portrait photography and did exhibitions and video installations. I was going a little bit more into the art with that. But then finally I made the turn and went into art direction. So that was more advertising and not just directly connected to the camera anymore, but on the side to the photographer.
Okay. Wow, so you must success because you did your exhibition as photographer, and that's so you're very known photographer that time. I think it's pretty good because I don't know. I think it's hard to have exhibition as photographer.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I think it was Nikon Emerging Photographer. I got that. It was an award. And then, but it's honestly, it's a long time ago. And another award from a museum in Germany as well. But for some reason, I just really wanted to go more into, applied photography, like working with brands and working in advertising than the art route.
Yeah. So it's like big turn from photographer to create your jewelry brand. You know what? Because normally if people as you did very well as your photographer career, why you think about want to do something else? Want to do jewelry is a big gap.
Yeah, I mean, when I was in art direction, I actually traveled all over the place. We did a lot of productions in Cape Town, in New York, London. Like it was great. And I did that for a couple of years, I think about 6 years or something. And then I just felt I had seen so many images. We had created so many images that I was really craving working with my hands. So then I started going to London Jewelry School in Hatton Garden in London and learned how to do goldsmithing. And from there, I then decided, hey, I actually really would like to found a brand myself. And then because I love working with stones and metals, and then it just came together that I decided I will do the leap and just quit my job. And I went to New York, and then I started the jewelry.
Wow. How brave you are. It's super brave to do because you already established yourself as photographer, right? And then you willing to, or you have the courage to give up everything and start to go school again in London and then learn from zero to do the jewelry things. Do you have the moment hesitated, like feel like should I do this? Is the right choice? Do you have the moment?
Yeah, I don't know if there really was a moment. It was more like, it was, I
Uh-huh.
mean, obviously there were some thoughts.
Hmm.
I have a funny story though. I went
Yeah,
while I was in London, a
yeah,
colleague of mine, in the agency that I was working for said to
yeah.
me, Liberties, I don't know if you know Liberties, it's a big
No.
department store in,
Uh-huh.
like a fashion department store in London. And she said, hey, they have an open call. And
Okay.
so I said, "Oh, that's interesting." So I went there to the open call with my pieces. I just made a couple of pieces,
Okay.
and the buyer there said,
Okay.
"Hey, we would like to place an order." And I was like, "What?"
What?
I
Already?
was really, I wasn't even prepared. I said, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm an art director, so I don't even know about wholesale and retail, the pricing and everything. So I was
Hmm.
really a little bit naive at that point, but I was just really trying to try it out, or I was curious to try it out.
Yeah.
And then I thought, okay, maybe there's something more there. So this was probably the point.
So, so that's like shows they already have the proof for you, like they already like approve your work. So that's probably like you feel like, that's something I can do as business for
Yeah, I
future.
mean, I did also change a little bit the pieces then as well. I think I took it a little bit more seriously then, and I looked
Mhm.
into retail and into, the whole buying and wholesale and the whole world of fashion and accessories. I hadn't done that before, so that was very interesting.
Okay.
And then obviously I had a little bit of yeah, proof that there is demand. So I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I think that's a good sign.
Okay. Yes, that's definitely a good sign. And what made you to went to New York since you get school in London and then you think New York is a bigger or better market for your career?
I was actually living in New York before because for the
Oh,
agency because I was working for an agency that had different offices worldwide.
I see.
And I was in the New York office in 2008, and
Wow.
I loved it. I really loved it so much that I just thought, okay, this is actually New York is such a good place to start stuff. It's very expensive, but on the other hand,
Yeah.
though, it gives you so much backing, energy
True.
wise, and they just, you get a lot of support from
True.
people who just love that you do something. And I just thought, okay, I really would like to do it there.
Okay. And then you start your business, start from online. The jewelry sales start from online, or you have some story in there. The
No, no,
product.
no. No, it was really hands-on actually, because when I
Oh,
went to New York, I was in Brooklyn, and
yeah,
I thought, okay, just as a market research to see how it works. So I went to, Williamsburg Designer Market. And so I went
yeah,
there, and I had my friends in London. They was like, what are you doing? You had this, you worked in Soho in London in an advertising agency, and now you're going to a designer market with like five
yeah.
necklaces. Like, what is the deal here? But for me, it was really like market research too. I just really wanted to find out, okay, how are people, yeah, what are people saying? Because it was kind of new too. At this point, I was working with rough stones that no one
Okay,
has been working with. So that
true.
was new.
Uh-huh.
Putting it into a setting like I was doing was new as well, with, brass and silver and sometimes gold.
Yeah,
And because I was hammering, and it was a little bit more of a new technique, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah, that was it. And then somebody, I think the buyer of Catbird, New York,
The bigger.
in
Mm,
Williamsburg,
yeah.
she saw my pieces, and then she placed an order. And then she also wrote about this on her blog at that point.
Okay,
I don't know if she still has that. And then another buyer from Anthropologie in Urban
okay.
Outfitters saw
Yeah.
it on her blog, and then she contacted me for more
For
pieces.
purchase.
It was
Okay.
very organic for me, like I never
Yeah,
really
so
had
you
to,
did not really like promote your stuff, do advertisement, or do anything. It just,
nothing. No, really nothing.
yeah.
It was really interesting. At that point, it was like 2010, 2011. So, there was, I think Instagram was just starting. But I ran into a lot of people, like in New York, who said, oh, let me tell about a friend and tell this to a friend, whatever. It was very organic. It was great.
It's very organic. Yeah, it's very organic, and it's like the private clients. All you get is those people really like your work that introduce to the friends and for your business. So you really don't need to looking for clients. The clients just comes.
Yeah, I mean, and then I had this big client, Anthropologie, who placed quite a big order for me, 2,000 pieces, which was,
Wow.
unheard of. So I had to actually, hire some help and then basically I went back to Germany and actually started the company, or another arm of the company there, because it was just easier there. And then, it was going from there. We had I opened a concept store at some point, and more stores just started contacting me.
Okay.
And
So
yeah,
you got your concept store in New York eventually for your brand, for your jewelry brand.
it was in Berlin. No, it wasn't in New York. It was in Berlin. So
Berlin. Okay.
I opened a store in Berlin just because it was cheaper. Like in New York, opening a store in New York, you would need investors.
Expensive.
And this is the thing with the brand as well, because my pieces were all unique. They were all rough stones. So you always had to, when you choose the stone, you already make a design decision, basically, right? Like you only take pieces that actually look kind of promising, and then I would hold them and whatever, and then put the setting around it, and it just was very one of a kind. So basically it wasn't very scalable. It was, as a business, there's just like a limit to that. You can't do so many people, so many things then with that.
It's really customized, really individual things. You cannot do the massive production for that.
Right. Yeah. So, and this is the thing with, because the demand was always there. I had what I was saying, I had a luxury problem that there was too much demand. I had too many people who loved my pieces, and the buyers wanted to buy and place orders, but it was just like getting very exhausting without having investors in. And investors are only interested in that, of course, when they have a return at some point, like when something is scalable, not if it's, so if there's like a cap on it, because I was involved in every piece, that's not very scalable, and yeah.
So that's the challenging your brand first, like the biggest challenging.
That was the biggest challenge, I would say. Yeah, that I kind of ran at there was a limit at that point. Like I was exhausting myself too much. I had employees, and I was trying to find people who can help me with producing. I went to Jaipur in India. I worked with goldsmiths there. I worked with goldsmiths in Morocco, also in Berlin. But obviously, this all adds up. Like there's a lot of costs involved before you actually get any money. Like it's just very practical problems, yeah. And this is why so many fashion and accessories brands need investment, because and I would have had to compromise my product to actually get an investor. People were saying the brand is great, the promise is great, but you would have to switch to polished stones instead of unfinished stones, because then it's easier to produce and we can do a higher volume. And I didn't want to do that. So that was the biggest challenge. Yeah.
Okay. So I think that's probably, you said that is really, I heard a lot of people, entrepreneur, especially fashion brands, like you said, that face the same challenge. because I don't want to get twisted by the investor, but I don't have money. So,
I mean, to be honest,
uh-huh.
I think at that point it was a little bit, that's already, when was that? 2014, 15, so 10 years ago. Um, it was not so usual. All the stores I worked with had never worked with a brand like mine with only one-of-a-kind pieces.
Okay.
So they were sending me spreadsheets with where I would have to put the article numbers in,
Yeah.
all that. But my pieces actually didn't have an article number because they were all like unique.
Handmade.
So,
Yeah.
I didn't have styles, I didn't have different collections.
Okay.
So I think this has changed a little bit. I don't know, I'm not in that space anymore, but I think there has been a lot of changes and there are more brands now that are actually, using this uniqueness and one of a kind, and they still work with stores. You only have to
Yeah.
watch out then with the margin, because obviously wholesale, you sell your piece for very much lower than you would sell it to the direct customer. So you sell it much lower to a store, and then you have
Yeah.
to see what's still in there for you. So it's just very, very practical thing.
Very practical. And do you think it's also sometimes rely on the lucky things? Maybe you meet the right people, right department store, and it's turned totally different for your
The
business.
department stores have their rules and they have their markups and their margins, and that doesn't change for different brands. But I think it could be, the luck could be that you will find an investor who loves your brand for what it
Sure.
is, like an
Sure.
angel investor, somebody who says, okay, it is so great. I see the potential anyway. I don't really need to get cash out of it soon.
Yeah.
I really just want to see it prosper or become something or be involved a little bit more creatively. I don't know. I think this would be the luck,
That's the thing.
And I don't, as I said, I don't know how the stores work right now, because they have to pay their rent too. Like there's a
True.
reason for their markup too. So it's a bit of a complicated issue.
A complicated issue. So after 8 years, all the jeweler brand, you decided to close it.
I
Close
did, yeah,
your.
because I actually I had a conversation with my doctor, and she had already said 2 years before that I have to, that she's like, you're basically in a burnout. You're working nonstop. And I could, obviously I could tell, I wasn't really happy anymore. I was, but then my body also, I was having like pain in my chest, and
Wow.
so I was just getting worried too, and I just felt super depleted. And I think I was basically she told me, she's like, you have been in a burnout for 2 years. You really have to change something. And I thought,
Okay.
okay, well, this started as an adventure and as
Yeah.
something that's supposed to, be great. And now I'm feeling like worse than ever.
Yeah.
So I made the decision at some point to just say, okay,
Wow.
I'm done.
Your health is the most important. If that thing's really draining you and make you feel burnt out, definitely it's
Yeah,
time to change something new. So
exactly. I think it was, everybody still was saying, okay, oh, don't do it, find another
yeah.
solution. The product is so great.
Yeah.
And still years later, I had people come up to me, oh, are you still making this? Can you make a necklace for me or whatever? But it just felt like I took, it was just not dead, but I needed to move on.
So you don't feel like regret or feel like I should hang on in there a little bit more, just let myself burning more, and maybe I can get big successful, rich or whatever, like big fame. You don't do you ever feel that little bit regret?
No, not really. Because I believe in, things just go their way and evolve into something else. And I always have been super curious too. So this is why my career has been so versatile until now. I've been in different industries and different sectors just because I don't know, I love to learn and then to apply things from different sectors into a new sector. I think this is how you innovate, right? Like, and
Exactly.
you know, there's always a time and space for everything. And I mean, obviously I learned so much, and a lot of founders and entrepreneurs and
Mm-hmm.
learn so much with their first big company, and then they can apply to the next. And I wasn't
Wow.
really ready to found something right after. I was really, so I went to Swarovski, I was working there,
Mm-hmm.
I was really
Mm-hmm.
happy there.
Mm-hmm.
Later, I, moved a little bit more into hospitality and
Mm-hmm.
did that and worked with clients, or still work with clients in hospitality.
Mm-hmm.
So, but with the Archive of Beauty, though, this kind of came up because then I kind of like last year,
Mm-hmm.
I connected the dots a little bit more. And I thought, okay, what is actually the thread that has been going through all my life or my career? And that is this is, aesthetic intelligence. Like
Yeah.
what is moving us? What is, touching us? What is
Yeah.
beauty? Beauty is such a term that's so overused, but then
Yes.
the essence of it though is so timeless in a way,
It's
you know.
yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So this is another challenge for me, but also it brings together everything that I've learned and I've done in the past 2 decades, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So it's all come together. As you said, everything's happening for a reason. All those experience you had, all this journey you had come together, made you build this institute today. And it's actually more meaningful.
I think so. I mean, it's nothing I stumbled into. It's nothing
Mm-hmm.
like that just came up or something. It really is. I f- it, I felt something come up. I don't know. As a
Mm-hmm.
creative, sometimes you notice that, or as an artist,
Yeah.
I felt something working inside of me for a while, like for
Mm.
years actually. But I couldn't really quite grasp it yet. I was always like a little bit like, I'm not quite sure yet. But this became very clear last year. And from then on, I just I just decided, okay, I will do this. And I need also always projects that are very big. So this
Uh-huh.
is big enough for me to know I will be busy with this for the next 2 decades. I'm turning 50 this year,
Wow,
so it's
you're so young.
no, but it's. I think it's a good. People my age probably they notice there is a point in life where you actually look back,
Mm, yeah.
observe a
Yeah.
little bit what happened, and then
Hmm.
okay, what is the next chapter? And this is just the next chapter because I feel the world needs this, and in times of AI, and I'm not really opposing AI at all. It's just that I feel I'm much more interested by human
Mm,
creativity, or, when you look at art, when you look at visionaries,
yeah.
I think it's so inspiring what humans can do. And this is, the combination of humans and nature.
Okay.
I think this is going into a next era, into a new era, and
Wow.
this is why I'm basically doing
You
this.
do you think the AI gonna be destroy or probably, I would say destroy some of those you said the beauty, human heritage, whatever, because now everything can generate it by AI.
I
Not too
think
much job
there,
to do.
yeah, I
Uh-huh.
think there, well, two things. I think
Mm-hmm.
one danger for maybe also your viewers, younger people, is a
Yeah.
little bit that there are too many templates and algorithms and not enough friction. How you
Yeah.
learn taste and how you learn design and how you learn everything really in creativity is through friction and through, going back and forth about something
Mm-hmm.
and having to think about something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel, people now are being born more into this template world or into an algorithm feed where everything is according to your taste. And there's
Mm-hmm.
nothing where you can actually learn what's good or bad. But that's just one thing. That's another challenge. I don't know how it will play out. And the other thing is that I feel, and in my world at least, and with my network, that human creativity is more important than ever. So in the high net luxury world, or in, brands that are, probably in the luxury sector, in hospitality or in lifestyle, whatever, humanity is more important than ever. So actually, you can see it even in storytelling or in advertising. Like everything becomes more grainy, a little bit more imperfect, and I think that's super interesting. How imperfection right now seems to be getting the new ideal, and how we were like, I was brought up with trying to make something perfect. Yeah, in advertising or anywhere. Like I studied photography analog still, so with films and all that, and then learned digital, and then in art direction too, we always try to make it more perfect. And now I think it's turning.
Offset.
Like, I think humanity or now is the new ideal. With totally humanity with faults and with not great skin or whatever, because it's real.
I totally agree with you. I totally, it's something you said. It just aligns me very well. And I was thinking, since we have the AI can make everything perfect. So we don't need perfect. We don't need to see that perfect no more. We want to see imperfection. We want to see the real, like the behind the mask.
Yes.
Like you said, authentic, all those is human. As human, we are not perfect.
We are not perfect, no. I mean, and this is super interesting because I think it changes so much in our head too. I think it's just a change of the point of view is changing about that, and that to me is always, I always find it very interesting what will happen in the next 5 years or in the next 10 years. And right now, our perception is changing so much that I'm actually excited about it, just to witness this, to basically. But obviously, back to your question, AI, I don't think it's destroying. I think it's just, there will be a sea of sameness as it already is. And what it also allows small brands like who don't have any money to actually bring out really cool campaigns. Still, though, it can look super empty if they are not careful. Yeah, for small brands, I think this could be a opportunity. Well, it can be a chance. It's definitely more democratic than before, because you can actually bring out big looking or great looking campaigns with not much money, but it also has the danger of looking super empty. And I think you really have, again, the creative director is so important. You have to understand, where to put in the little friction so it's not too perfect. So you have this kind of, even in the wording, all the AI wording is so, for me, it's so exhausting to read this, because it's when you're able to see patterns. Yes. And for some reason, I can see that very easily when something is AI wording, and it makes it leaves just a very empty aftertaste. I don't know how to describe it better, So I think it gives you a lot of tools and chances to use AI, but you have to know where to put humanity back in. You have to do a combination. The balance, right? The balance. I would say you feel the empathy is probably, I think maybe you don't feel the connections. Like it's too perfect, it's good, but it's like robot. We don't feel the human connections between each other. Yeah, maybe it's and it's just, as you said, like complete perfection is boring. It really is. True. And especially now during this fashion week this year, January, some brands doing the couture, they use the AI
all the AI technique generate those picture for the haute couture. So some fashion comment people says, come on, don't use AI to generate the haute couture because this haute couture is not supposed to use AI. It's handmade stuff. I I feel really related for that because if it looks beautiful, but you don't feel the connection. Somehow you just feel the emptiness. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably. I think again, and I think it's good to maybe I use it. I mean, I use AI daily too, but I use
Uh-huh.
it as a base. It's just a base, and then you have to bring in your own thing, and
True.
you have to edit really rigidly. You have to really say, okay, this is not it. This is not it. This is not it. And this is where your creativity comes back in. And then it's fine.
Definitely. When you said that, I was just thinking, when you said the imperfection, I was just thinking, we always scared since we grew up. We were told by perfect, everything need to be good and perfect. So now the imperfection is the way change our mind. But we are probably scared, like me, sometimes I feel scared to be no good in front of public. I feel scared to let people see I'm not perfect enough. And I don't know. Do you have the feeling sometimes feel like chasing perfect, chasing perfectum and scared to be imperfect? The
Mm.
mental mindset.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, for mindset, I think, well, at least how I lived,
Yeah.
my life so far is for me, it was always execution was always more important. I mean, I am a perfectionist too in things that I like things to be done well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very much into details. Things that just have to be precise, I think,
Precise. That's
to
good
be
words.
good. But, yeah, but I think it's yeah, if you just do it, it's more important than thinking about it too much. And then you go from there, and then you go another, and then you get better too. When you just start doing stuff, and then you get better, and then you do another round, and you get better. I mean, this is the whole journey. I think maybe if you see it like this,
Mm-hmm.
just thinking, okay, this will help me get better and become
Better. So don't
not
think about that.
perfect, but better. Yeah.
Think it's like journey, learning journey. Every step's learning journey because no one is a perfect and nothing is a start from perfect. We
Yeah.
change that
And,
mindset. Mm-hmm.
and something I think, I don't know if you have this saying, we have the saying in German, everybody's
Okay.
just boiling with water. I don't know
I,
if
I
you,
know that.
so everybody's just boiling with water, even in boardrooms or, in senior management. we
Yeah.
all we're all like trying our best, so it's really just everybody's like not everything is
Not
so.
perfect. Yeah. So perfect. Especially you, as you said before, now people more valuable imperfection, more valuable the journey, the real journey instead of the perfect result. So
Yeah,
that's
I mean, I'm
mhm.
actually really also interested in how uh actually human connection in the future will be. I think also
Okay.
it will be super valuable to meet somebody in person instead
True.
of only online.
True.
And just the way that you then meet with people is
Hmm.
already good. So I don't think there's any room for worry about imperfection or not. It's just like,
Definitely, because more and more we're use AI or online service. We don't need to meet people. We can just do this. Everything can be done. Business can be done. Work can be done in online. So more pressures the human connections. I totally agree with that. Mm.
I guess so. I mean, I'm not a biologist, but apparently, this is also what biology says. We need the connection.
Oh.
We are not
Hmm.
robots for a reason.
True. So when you do for your institute right now, I carve beauty of institute. What service you provided? You doing that also want to build some more human connections together?
Well, I mean, in the past, again, I have been like 2 years ago, I directed TEDx
Yeah.
Innsbruck. in Austria with a team. So that was a team of 12 students. It was a little bit of a mentor thing. And after that, I did another event called Think Big on
Think
the
big.
top of a ski jump in Austria.
Okay.
And where I also brought together people from different backgrounds, and we just learned basically from each other through their
Okay.
talks, through
Okay.
experience. We had dinner. It was
Okay.
almost like a community event.
Community
I'm
event.
not sure if I will be doing this with the archive. I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
Also, there's already a lot
Yes.
happening in that space.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but what I do with the archive, I do features where
Yeah.
I talk to people from different industries, leaders,
Okay.
really senior personalities who have a lot to tell, really.
Mm-hmm.
And we have conversations about their approach. So I did that. You can find that on the Archive of Beauty website. There's this features. And I also work with hotels and with owners, founders directly through my consultancy still, Era Narrative.
Okay.
But yeah, other than that, I mean, it's still early days with the Institute. Right now, I've also launched the quarterly, which
Mm-hmm.
is not a trend report, but like a research publication that also brings together different angles, different views, maybe a little bit of an unusual touch to
Uh-huh.
it. And
Okay.
then, also as an inspiration, but also like a informational tool.
Informational too. Like people want to research for the brand. For example, if they want to start brand.
Exactly. And
Mm-hmm.
I think this is, and what I bring in there is a little bit more, for instance, field studies. Right now, I'm in Sicily where I'm doing a field study about volcanoes. So I love bringing in, natural
Mm-hmm.
landscapes,
Okay.
and then combining it with things that are a little bit unusual
Okay.
to open up new angles. And I think this is the future. I think this is what's super important for every brand, for every creative, to be original and to try out new ways of seeing. And this is something that I've been doing all my life. And I think this is also one reason for the quarterly, to just, show the work there and help brands and creatives.
Super cool. Super cool. I think that's important for like people have the tools to know what they're doing and then how that can also talk to you, right? You can give them some strategy consulting and then clear the clarity.
Yeah, I mean, I do that. Yeah, I do
Mm-hmm.
one-on-one consulting. I do
Okay.
strategic sprints,
Uh-huh.
I don't really do like coaching or like long-term stuff. I like
Mm-hmm.
to work in, you know, sp like sprints, like you have like a
Yeah.
2 hour
Okay.
session and then
Uh-huh.
you get a memo after and you can work from there, because
Okay.
that sometimes is enough to get you going into the next phase, in my opinion.
True, true. So what so nowadays the fashion industry is a crisis, right? People always says crisis, no much sales going on, the revenue is going down. And what do you think about the fashion industry, the future fashion?
I'm not really in the fashion industry, I have to say. So I'm not
Mm-hmm.
quite, I don't have any numbers right now. I mean, obviously I've seen the trend that you just said, but I can't really say much about that. I'm afraid.
Okay.
I mean, the thing is, again, I feel originality is super important. People are super averse to anything that looks like it could be anything. It could be mass produced or whatever.
True.
So
Yeah.
I think that's great. I have a feature next week scheduled, like a call with somebody in Tanzania, where
Uh-huh.
they also work on one of a kind products. And so stuff like that, that has a story, that has like realness to it, that has really some foundation. I think people want that a lot, much more than the typical status symbol anymore.
Okay. So
On
the
the other hand,
heritage. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
And on the other hand, I'm a big believer in quality, like I don't mean like just anything because it's original. I think like quality products.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, but just really something real behind it, and maybe even in their storytelling,
Mm-hmm.
more transparency,
See.
less prestige,
Uh-huh.
more realness.
Fancy, yeah. So, so I think the heritage, the culture, the story behind all brands doesn't matter what brand it is, doesn't fashion or retail, whatever, but they all need that, the heritage, the culture, and the story behind.
Yeah. I
Cool.
think it's best when you can combine that, when you can combine heritage
Mm-hmm.
and new unusual angles,
Yeah, I would like to you give the young creative entrepreneurs who want to start a career some advice. What do you think if they want to start something? What's most important?
Well, I would still think it's super important to look for friction, again, not
Direction.
to try to use too much AI to make it easy, but also really, I mean, I know it's kind of sometimes it's easier, but it really is important to sculpture yourself, like as a
Go
creative,
for yourself.
like who do you want to be as a creative as well? Like you have to kind of go the path a little bit. Like you can't, like it's not like, I know it's easier than ever
Mm-hmm.
to just, after finishing school to say, oh, I'm a creative director. When I started out, it was actually a long journey until you became a creative director. And I don't say that's better. I'm just saying, there is something to learning craft and to learning stuff from the bottom up. So yeah, I think that's important. And also curiosity, just being curious is super
Sure.
important. And being open to things. And I would never estimate I would never, what's the word, think that your life is going linear. Like linear,
Uh-huh.
I think is super boring. Who wants that? As creatives, I think our life is going in like
Yeah,
this,
the
or
roller coaster.
yeah,
I'm not
hopefully
sure.
not in
It's
circles, but it's it
yeah,
is
up down.
definitely it is definitely ups and downs, and this is just kind of shaping you, though. I mean, I'm actually already super curious who I will be when I'm like 90.
Wow.
Like I'm already thinking about things. I'm thinking, wow, I hope I have then accumulated much more. So yeah,
So
I
you
don't know.
still have that curiosity nowadays, even now.
Oh, totally. Yeah, absolutely. This is
That.
actually what
Mhm.
that, yeah, that, gets me
Going.
up every morning, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's probably one of the most important things. The character, you want to do something, keep that curiosity because that's your motivation.
exactly. It's the motivation, and also, makes you connect with people and find out about their journeys and about what they know and learn from them. And yeah, I think that's
Wow,
important.
cool. Thank you so much. You
Uh,
shared so
You're
much things. I feel like talk to you, I get inspired a lot just from the conversation we had for real. And is any thoughts you want to speak? Last thoughts you want to speak to the audience? Anything to ending the conversation today?
No, I mean, again, I would just say, just keep with it, with what you're doing, and I would follow that inner little voice too. Not too much of the trend chasing. I would
Mm,
just really try to look inside and see, okay, what is really drawing me, like my
mm,
attention, what is drawing my attention, and not, what's the next big trend or how can I make money real quick or something, but more like, okay, what is a little bit. I'm not saying follow your passion because that's a little bit too,
mm.
but just listen a little bit more, I think.
Inner you,
Yeah, to
inside.
your inner voice. There's always a little inner voice that kind of nudges you. And I
Mm-hmm.
think I would definitely try to, yeah, say that,
Okay.
I think.
Thank you so much, Jane. And thank you so much for sharing all those
You're welcome.
beautiful stories, journeys, everything. And we have great conversation today. I'm looking forward to talk to you again. If the audience want to know your work, they want to talk to you, where they can reach out with you in the linking, or you have some
LinkedIn,
website.
yeah, I'm active on LinkedIn, and then
Okay.
also yeah, on Archive of Beauty. Hello
Okay.
at archiveofbeauty.com.
Yeah. So if people interested want to consulting or do any work with you, they can just open the LinkedIn. You have the link, and then they can see your LinkedIn page, connect with you, or they can go to the website to connect with you. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Super cool. And thank you again. And
Thank you.
thank you.